Do you know what are the types of testing? I will explain them here. There are many different types of testing that you can use to make sure that changes to your code are working as expected. Not all testing is equal, though, and we will see here how the main testing practices differ from each other. Here we have the functional test. The functional test means that you have to test what the software does and what the software must not do. And the non-functional test is related to the non-functional requirements. It's related to the attributes of the software. And we have to measure as well. We have the functional test. The functional test is divided by static testing and dynamic testing. The dynamic testing can be automated. Obviously, static testing doesn't. And we have the static testing dedicated for all the documentation that is developed through the project before we start constructing the software. I mean requirement documentation, analysis documentation, and all the incomes that we use in order to construct or develop or generate the software testing process. In this case, the software testing team can inspect the documentation and do a peer review of that documentation and offer some findings, like gaps or misunderstanding, ambiguous understanding on this documentation. And dynamic testing is when we already have the product under test. The software development team already developed the product or the application, and we install it in our QA environment and we start testing, and we already have the test cases and we apply them in the software under test. And in this moment we are doing some dynamic testing. The automation is dedicated on automate systematically all the manual test cases that we use on dynamic testing, and we can then save time and save cost. In automation we use specialized testing tools in order to do this job. We usually create robots on this kind of testing. The non-functional test is related to the attributes of the software, and we have to measure them as well. And how we do that? We do it through the use of performance testing, security testing, and usability testing, among other types of non-functional tests. Performance testing is dedicated to measure all the capabilities of the software and all the resources that it uses from the system, like a memory, like a bandwidth, and other resources, and we try to find bottlenecks of the system. Security testing is dedicated for doing some vulnerability scans of the software. We try to find some gaps that the hackers use in order to penetrate on the system and hack the system. And usability testing is dedicated on how friendly is the software, how easy to use is the software. These are the mainly types of non-functional tests.